In today's video, we're going to talk about one of my favorite traits of Justin Fields, which is his arm strength and at least one particular application of it. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Brian Glaze. I'm a college football analyst here on YouTube, and I love getting into the details and figuring out why things happen and explaining it to people who are interested in it. So if that's your thing, feel free to stick around and subscribe to the channel. So you may know that Justin Fields has a strong arm, and you may have heard of analysts gushing about far hash throws when giving examples of a quarterback's arm strength. The reason why it's a good measurement of that is due to how far of a throw these types of throws are. And people don't tend to see it that way because it doesn't travel that far down the field, but they're not thinking about the width of the field when it comes to far hash throws. Throwing to the far side of the field from whatever hash you're on with velocity is hard to do. And if you don't know what I mean by hash, you know how there's those separated, segmented lines in the middle of the field, one on the left half of the field and one on the right half of the field. They're in the middle of the field. It's the white lines, and they kind of go down the field like this. Well, if you're on the left side, that's the left hash. If you're on the right side, that's the right hash. And usually the ball is lined up somewhere between on the hash and on the other, and sometimes it's in the middle. And the type of throws I'm talking about is when you're on one of the hashes and you throw the ball to the far side of the field. Now, if a QB can complete a 5-yard out route on time in stride to the wide receiver, to the right side of the field while throwing from the left hash, most likely they have a strong arm. Justin Fields does this consistently at Ohio State, and they take advantage of it. Defenses know that most quarterbacks can't complete these far throws consistently, so they play it a bit more free, usually resulting in off coverage or less leverage. A quarterback with a strong arm like Fields can take advantage of that. I'm going to show you a few plays of Justin Fields doing just that. Before we do that, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell if this is interesting to you so that you can get all of the videos when I upload. Of course, join my Discord channel where we like to have college football discussions and also random ones in my miscellaneous section of the channel. And if you really want to support the channel, watch this whole video, then click on another video and watch it in the same viewing session, because that indicates to the algorithm that you like the channel and that they'll keep showing you my content, and they'll also push it to more people in a similar audience to you. With that said, let's go into the plays. So the first one I'm going to show you is from the fourth quarter here. It's 12 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game. Ohio State is in 11 personnel, 4 wide with the tight end split out close, and they like doing that a lot, and it's to the right. It's a zone defense from Nebraska here, and you can look at how the corners are playing on the outside leverage of the receivers to kind of indicate that they aren't lined up directly over them, and they don't seem to be concerned with getting in line with them to make sure they're not blown by. So Fields takes this snap on the left hash. This was designed to be a far right throw by looking at Fields' eyes and, at the snap of the play. He's looking there immediately. He's looking to right the whole way. Wide receiver number 4 is running a 5-yard out route. Nebraska seems to be playing a cover 3 defense as the corner drops into a deep third zone and the linebacker zones hovers near the right hash. Fields doesn't throw this until 4 breaks outside. And that's the wild part about this play. Most quarterbacks would have to be throwing this before the wide receiver starts breaking. Justin Fields rifles that ball there before the defenders could get 5 yards within his wide receiver. That's it. That's the impressive part about this play. The fact that he's able to get it there, even though he's late on this throw, with the defender still being so far away when it hits the receiver in his hands, that's just not something that you see the average quarterback do, nor can they just pull that off with ease like he just did. And so before I go to the next play, that's really it. That's all I wanted to point out. Who do you believe is Ohio State's best receiver this year? And do you think Ohio State's best receiver would start at Clemson or Alabama? That's really interesting. Now we're going to go to the next play. And it has the same personnel grouping and the same formation, but Fields takes this snap in the dead center of the field this time. Like the previous play, Justin Fields takes the snap knowing where this is supposed to go, to the X receiver at the bottom of the screen on a 10-yard out route. While he isn't throwing this from the far left hash, watch the velocity here. He is late on the throw, but that is what allowed me to highlight this. He doesn't release the ball until the wide receiver has broken to the outside and taken 2 steps. At this point, other QBs shouldn't be throwing this ball unless the wide receiver is completely alone. Nebraska is playing a similar zone to what they played the first time, but the corner is watching the wide receiver more closely. He's within 3 yards of the wide receiver as the ball is in the air. The ball hits the wide receiver in the hands before the DB gets there. And I'm just trying to figure out, how did you pull that off? That doesn't make sense that he's able to get that ball there. He rifled that pass to the sideline, even though he was very late on this throw. And that type of thing, it just makes me want to check to see if he's usually late on these type of throws or if he's usually on time. because either way, he's able to get away with it with his arm. And you don't want to make a habit out of that. I've said that in many videos before, The reason why I'm highlighting now is just to show you the difference between someone who has a strong arm and someone who doesn't. So the next play I'm showing you is from the first quarter. It's 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Ohio State is doing 12 personnel this time, which is 1 running back and 2 tight ends, but three wide, so one of the tight ends is split out. They love flexing the tight end out. They do this a lot. Fields takes the snap on the right hash. Once again, this play is targeted for the far throw because Fields looks there the whole way. The wide receiver at the bottom of the screen is facing off his own coverage, and the wide receiver is running a 10-yard route. The wide receiver is running a 10-yard out route to the left sideline. Once again, the ball isn't released until the wide receiver has broken out on the route and has taken 2 steps. The ball is in Olave's hands before the DB could get closer than 4 yards. This doesn't make sense. I keep saying that a lot, just how quickly the ball is getting there and how he's getting there. I think Ohio State's offensive coordinator calls this play just to show us that Justin Fields can actually pull this off. It's a great ace up your sleeve to have, honestly, and they can take advantage of it as long as Justin hits it. Well, one of the interesting things is that Wood is working against really good competition, teams with great corners. So do you see it working on Alabama or Clemson? So the last play that I'm going to pull out to you is from the first quarter as well. It's 13 minutes and 9 seconds left. Ohio State is once again in 12 personnel, and that is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and 2 wide receivers are out to the right side, and they actually have both of the tight ends in line this time. And it's a pistol formation. So they have this play in different looks, so I guess so that it's not as predictable. Justin Fields takes this snap on the right hash. Notice that Nebraska is playing off-man coverage on the wide receivers this time. Fields is on a design rollout left, so not only does he lose a few yards here, but he is on the move. This might be the shortest of the throws I've shown you today, but once again, Fields zips the ball to Olave's hands before the DB can get within 4 yards of his wide receiver. Plenty of time to work on yak yards afterwards. Ohio State's offensive coordinator definitely takes advantage of a defender's fear of his wide receivers combined with the arm talent of his quarterback. If you show that defensive look, they will exploit it. And that's just good game planning overall, but also the fact that you can consistently rely on your quarterback to do that type of thing, that just shows you the type of talent that Ohio State has on this offense and the type of talent that Justin Fields is. And you see why people have him rated so highly and why he most likely will be a first-round draft pick this year. Now, the interesting bit is seeing what happens when good corners don't give wide receivers like Olave that space. We haven't seen that yet, and I haven't seen the Penn State game yet, so I don't know if they really adjusted to that much, but I'm looking forward to seeing more of Ohio State, and I want to check out that game some more too. Let me know what you think about this. Do you find this impressive, or are you just like, it's okay, I've seen it before, or do you find yourself really enjoying this aspect of Justin Fields too? If you enjoyed this video, click on the video to the left here. The YouTube algorithm suggests a video for you from my channel, and they believe you'll like it, and usually they're right because they know your viewing habits. And if you click on the video to the right, it's the last video that I made. You should check that out too. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.